Hi guys. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. It's a wonderful Sunday. And look at this new format that I picked up. I was so excited when I saw something like this. I said, this is how we should have start our sessions. Something new, something interesting always makes it, so much more exciting. Anyway, so if you're here and if you're ready and waiting, we'll begin. But quickly, first tell me if I am live. And oh, in my phone, I'm visible. So if you can just quickly give me a yes or no, others also, that I am visible and live and audible, then I'll start with the session and we'll start our discussion. It is this week has been very exciting. We had CAT, then we had some versions of NMAT. Yesterday was my CAT, and today, of course, we are having the SNAP exam. I hope all of you are following. Hi, Saurav. Am I audible? Okay, Samrat says I am. Thank you, Samrat. I hope you all are able to see. Can you give me a quick thumbs up so I know that I'm audible and visible? Also, if you can share this session with your friends so they can also join in, because what we are doing is we are covering a lot of VRC PYQs, which will help you understand what kind of preparation you guys need to have. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Can you give me a quick like and share the session? And of course, if you can all subscribe to the session so that you are available to chat as well as hit the bell icon. So, all of those, the necessaries you must do, right? Every time in every session, must make sure that the necessaries are taken care of. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we are doing in these sessions. CAT 24 S1 23 15 3 75 to 85 percentile. Please, yeah, Saurabh, please reappear Carlo. Absolutely. CAT 25, please do it. I'll tell you something. I have a friend. His name is Saurav Das, and he was from IIM Lucknow. He is from IIM Lucknow. So yeah, what a coincidence, but what a lovely coincidence. So go ahead and do make sure that you're writing CAT again. Follow us all the time. We are doing these lovely sessions on PYQs. So just will help you round off the edges and just smoothen all of that. For everybody else, if you have started your preparation recently, I hope you're reading regularly and that you're taking care of your vocabulary and grammar portions. Those are the portions that actually get missed out in the helter skelter of CAT preparation. So therefore, please make sure that you are preparing well and that you're taking care of your vocabulary and grammar. This is just the right time to do vocabulary and grammar, because then later you won't have to worry about it. It's like learning your alphabet. Once you've taken care of the alphabet, then you, you can do everything else. But if you haven't taken care of your alphabets, then there is a problem. So that is why do make sure that you're doing, your vocab and grammar very well, and then you can continue with your entire preparation. Go on and hit your reading comprehension, your vocabulary, your verbal logic, your whatever critical reasoning, everything else will be quite sorted. Okay, guys, have you? I hope you have hit the like button. That I'm a very desperate person in terms of likes. So of course I like all the likes, and please make sure that you have shared the session and that you have subscribed. Sharing helps us get more people into the session, and when you subscribe you're able to participate in the chat, and that makes the class more exciting. Please do make sure that you're participating, that this is a very interactive class, because if it's not interactive then it's not going to be fun, right? Not for you, not for me. I'll be sleeping through the session, and so will you, and I don't really want that. CAT 25, I'm currently doing these snap and zat sessions, and the students are so interactive, and we're having the sessions online. Everyone is so interactive. It is such a lot of fun to take those classes, to participate. So do make sure that you are all also participating, and that it is equally exciting for all of us. All right, let's get started. I will begin the session today. Of course, I'm doing Some more questions from ZAT past year papers. We've covered ZAT in the previous session also. Today also I have a few questions from ZAT. ZAT being one of the most important exams in India, CAT and ZAT are in terms of difficulty at the same level, followed by NMAT and then SNAP, right? But the colleges in ZAT are as good, or maybe XLRI, of course, I feel is at par with IIM's ABC, right? So that is one of the colleges that you should be vying for and putting in all your effort. So here is that. Let's take a look some PYQs. So this is a very interesting passage, and after the passage there is a question that follows. So there is a conversation between two men, and then there is a question that follows. Let's take a moment, read it, and then we'll try and solve it. It's a small question. So I'm going to remove myself from the screen, and you can answer the question. All right. I hope you've been able to read this passage. I'll take you to the explanation and we'll try and look at the question. So, the question says, which of the following options cannot be definitely inferred based on the conversation? So, what is this conversation? I hope you will answer in the chat box. But in the meantime, let me explain the conversation to you. So, Oinos says, I can comprehend you thus far. That means he can understand Agathos till now. And what has he understood? That certain operations of what we term nature or the natural laws will, under certain conditions, give rise to that which has all the appearance of creation. So, when certain operations of nature happen, then it will give rise to creation. Okay. So, when nature will work, it will give rise to creation. Shortly before the final overthrow of Earth, so before Earth is finally overthrown, there were, I well remember, many very successful experiments in what some philosophers were weak enough to denominate the creation of animalculae. So he says that when before Earth was finally created or thrown over, there were some experiments where where animalculae were created, but philosophers were weak enough to denominate it the creation of animalculae. Agathos says the cases of which you speak were, in fact, instances of the secondary creation. So that was the secondary creation, and of the only species of creation which has ever been since the first word spoke into existence, the first law. So he says the case that of the animalculae, the one that you speak, is an instance of secondary creation. So that is not the primary creation. And this instance is about the only species that has ever been since the first word spoke into existence, the first law. So that is the one that started out from the basic of creation when the first law was created. So that is how, that is when the animalculae were created. All right, so we have to identify the ones that cannot be definitely inferred. Let's take a moment and see if any of you have given me an answer, and we'll try and see if I have any answers. If I don't, then I will tell you. The correct answer here, let's quickly take a look. Agathos was explaining something related to creation to oinos. Yes, absolutely. That can be inferred because he says, I can comprehend you thus far. So that means Agathos was explaining something. So therefore, one can be inferred. At the time of the conversation, there was nothing called earth. Yes, because the final overthrow of earth has already happened, right? So therefore can be inferred. The creation of animalculae is a natural law. Yes, because he says that was the only species that since the first word spoke into the existence, the first law. So that creation is animal, that is the natural or the first law. So can be inferred. Natural laws are creation of philosophers. We have only spoken that philosophers were weak enough to denominate the creation of animalculae, but not that they are creations by the philosophers. So this cannot be inferred. Law is a spoken word, of course, something that has been spoken. The word spoke into existence, the first law. So when you spoke a word, it became law. So that can be inferred. So the only one that cannot be inferred is option number D, and that will be the correct answer. Okay, I hope you got that. Let me see if anyone was able to answer me. Oh, nobody has given me an answer. All right. I hope you have been able to understand this question. This is a slightly complicated question, but a very interesting one. All right, let's go to the next one. So again, there is a small passage and you have to identify which statement best completes the passage. So the sentence that will fall here or the part that will fall here is the part that you're looking for. Again, I will remove myself from the screen and you can take a minute and then read and then we will discuss. All right, guys, let's take a look at this question. So, this one says, uh, there is a degree of convergence. Convergence means that people come together in the definition of trust, which can be summarized as follows. So, what is trust we are talking about? A degree of convergence means this is what everyone agrees about. Trust is a particular level of subjective probability. Okay, so where trust is, there is subjective probability with which an agent assesses another agent or group of agents will perform a particular action. So there is a probability that I will assess or one agent will assess another agent of the fact that they will perform a particular action. So when we say we trust someone or that someone is trustworthy, what we mean is that we assume that they will perform an action that we expect them to do. So we implicitly mean we try to say that the probability that he will perform an action that is beneficial to us is high. Yes. So let's take a look which one will say. So is high enough for us to find out if he will cheat us. But if he is cheating us, then there is no trust. So one cannot be the right answer. So the probability is high enough for us to consider engaging in some form of cooperation with him. Yes, we assume that he is going to perform our action and therefore we feel that we should also perform that thing. So therefore B is a good choice for us. Let's look at C. Is low enough, probability is low enough for him not to engage in negative behavior, but that does not mean that he will help. So, therefore, not C is high enough for us not to build defenses against his boss. But if we expect that he is going to be aggressive, then there is a problem. So, not D is low and is enough for us to attack him. If we are attacking him, then where is the trust? So it cannot be E. So the best answer that we have is option number B, which says is high enough for us to consider engaging in some form of cooperation with him. Okay, I hope you got that. Let's go to the next question. Question number 3 is a passage. So I've divided it into three parts. Okay, part 1, part 2, and part 3. We will read the entire passage and then we will discuss the questions. Okay, so please start reading. All right. So I think I've given you enough time to read the entire passage, right? Very interesting passage. Here it is. The first question. The meaning closest to interchangeable in the communication as bowling paragraph. Okay. So we're looking at the communication is bowling paragraph, the first one, and they're asking you what is the meaning that is closest to interchangeable. Take a look and give me the answer. I'm sure you've been able to see that interchangeable is marked here. This was the first passage, communication as bowling. A very interesting passage, no? All right, so I'm waiting for your answers, guys. Are they complementary? Are they contiguous? Are they conforming? Are they compatible? Or are they comparable? So the correct answer will be something which says, oh, they can be used in one for the other. So therefore they have to be comparable, not complementary. The word complementary means they complete each other. But if they complete each other, then they cannot be interchangeable. They cannot replace each other, right? Contiguous means they're next to each other. Again, they cannot replace. Please understand. Conforming means they are all of the same type, or they all believe in the same idea. So again, no. Compatible is adjustable. So no. So comparable, things of the same type, and therefore interchangeable. So the correct answer here will be option number E, comparable. All right, the next question. Here you are. Which of the following options is the closest to the necessary condition of communication? So here we are. Number A is threshold overlap of shared images. Number two, simultaneous exchange. Number three, ability to stimulate affect. Number four, the ability to enact a drama. Or number five, ability to elicit a response. Which of these is closest to the necessary condition of communication? Let's take a moment. I'm going to wait for your answers, guys. You can even now read the passage and come back and tell me what the answer is. All right, let's take a look. So, the what is the necessary condition of communication? This is given in this very last two paragraphs. He says that communication, or he says the game of charades is the best captures the simultaneous and collaborative nature of interpersonal communication. He says it's not an action like bowling a strike, nor an interaction like a rally. It's a transaction. Actual play is cooperative. So I do something, you do something, but it does not have to be simultaneous. So it's not B. Are you, is it the ability to stimulate an effect? That could happen in communication as bowling also, but that's not what is closest to communication. Again, the ability to enact a drama is not the necessary condition of communication, or the ability to elicit a response. Threshold overlap of shared images. When I give you something, you give me something, and there is some sort of an overlap, that is the necessary condition of communication. So the correct answer here, guys, will be option number A threshold overlap of shared images. All right. Let's go to the next question. The two inherent limitations of ping pong as a metaphor for communication are. So, what are the two inherent limitations of ping pong as a metaphor for uh, communication? Let's take a moment and find out. We have got a very nice poem also for you guys. Because, of course, that has a lot of poems. Every year they have at least one poem. Sometimes they've even had two. So, all right. So, what is the limitation of ping pong as a metaphor for communication? We have to find that. Let's take a look. So, it is governed by conventions with possibility for appeal. It has clear rules. The operating model is win lose because only one individual or team can win. The receiver can always predict the spin. Now, see, the problem with B is very clear that always predict will not be correct. So, I'm eliminating. Huh? The number of players is limited as very few can be meaningfully engaged. The rules of the games are fixed by the regulators. Okay, it demands more skill of the receiver than of the speaker, but can we, did we really interpret this? It is as passive. No, it is not as passive as bowling. So D is incorrect. Real life communication is like dumb charade with multiple players. There are multiple balls used in dumb charades, but we are talking of the limitations of ping pong. So it's not B, it's not D, it's not E. We just have to choose between A and C. It is, I'll just take you to the passage for a moment. Yes. Now, if you read this paragraph, it says ping pong is not a solo game. This fact alone makes it a better analogy for interpersonal communication. One party puts the conversational ball in play and the other gets into position to receive. It takes more concentration and skill to receive than to serve because the speaker knows where the message is going, the listener doesn't. Like a verbal or non-verbal message, the ball may appear straightforward yet have a deceptive spin. Ping pong is a back and forth game. Players switch roles continuously. One moment, the person holding the paddle is an initiator. The next moment, he is the responder. Gauging the effectiveness of his or her shot by the way the ball comes back. The repeated adjustment for essential for good play closely parallels the feedback process described in a number of interpersonal communication theories. Okay. All right, now let us take a look. So it is governed by conventions with possibility for appeal. We don't know. It has clear rules. Yes. So the first one is a problem for me. So I'll eliminate A also. In C works, the number of players is limited and the rules are already fixed. So these two become my uh, limitations of ping pong. So the correct answer becomes C. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, now here is a very interesting set of statements. It's a poem that is famous for giving you poem RC. So I thought, why not? Let's take a look at one poem and we'll try and solve it together. So let's read it and then we will try and do the questions. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this poem for a minute, 2 minutes, and then we'll discuss. 2 minutes I'm giving. All right. What a lovely poem this is. Let's try and read it together and understand. So it says black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. So look at the black that is there. So there is a black lake, which means probably it is the water is very dirty. There is a black boat, funeral boat probably, and two black cut paper people who've been cut out of paper. So they're actually probably people who are very dispirited, unhappy, that kind. Where do the black trees go that drink here? So trees which drink this water, which grow in this water, they would become black. And where do they go? Their shadows must cover Canada. Probably they're going as far away as Canada. Um, a little light is filtering from the water flowers. Their leaves do not wish us to hurry. So there is a very little light that is filtering through from the flowers in the water, and the leaves are asking us to stop. There are so many leaves in that lake that the boat is not able to move very quickly. They are round and flat and full of dark advice. Cold words shake from the oar. So it is so dark and dingy and gloomy. The whole idea is very gloomy. Cold words shake from the oar. So when you're rowing the boat, it is so cold. The water is cold. The words that the two people are speaking to each other probably are very, very cold. What a beautiful uh, you know metaphor. The spirit of blackness is in us, it is in the fishes. So everything is very gloomy. The two people on the boat are dispirited, they're gloomy, they're unhappy, they're very pessimistic. It's even in the fishes in the water, they're also black and gloomy. A snag is lifting a valedictory pale hand. So there is a piece of wood that is rising up above the water, and it appears as if it is raising its hand in celebration. And it's a pale color hand. It's not black. Stars. So now there is some sort of a brightness that comes, some very small brightness. Till now it was just all dark. Stars opening among the lilies. So there are so many flowers. You remember we spoke about the water flowers where there was a little light. So now he says stars opening among the lilies. So between the lilies you can also see the stars. Again, some little brightness that is happening. Are you not blinded by such expressionless sirens? So when you hear the songs of these sirens, or when you see them, see this, the snag, the stars, are you not blinded by the brightness? This is the silence of abandoned soul. So he says, here you do not hear any songs of the siren. You all you hear is the silence of people who've been abandoned, souls that have been thrown away, that nobody is touching at all. Now, this was a phase when this is a poem by Sylvia Plath, and this was a phase when she was extremely depressed. She used to move between extreme depression and extreme happiness. So she went with her uh, uh, lover, boyfriend, whoever that was, to a lake house. And she wrote this poem at that phase when she was extremely depressed. So the entire poem, if you read it, it shows that darkness, that blackness, the unhappiness that is, deeply there in her, right? And that is also visible in the poems. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at our first question. Which of the following options best explains the effect of the images in line 1? Line 1 said black lake, black boat, two black cut paper people. So, of course, it is very, very gloomy, right? The first line encapsulates the theme of the poem, but what is the effect we are not able to see? So, option 1, not so much. Look at option number B. The images are suffused with an overpowering sense of rebellion, but black did not show rebellion, right? So I'll not take B. The atmosphere indicates a cyclical nature of life and death. It doesn't reflect the cyclical nature, it does reflect death, but not that of life. So that's a problem. So, not C. The black lake lacks regenerative potential. Black boat connotes the funerary boat, the funeral boat in which dead bodies are taken. and cut paper people are unreal. So yes, this does explain the effect. So D can be an answer. The repeated use of black suggests evil. No, it doesn't suggest evil. It suggests death, depression. Gloom is that, effect that the author is portraying in this poem throughout. Where do the black trees that drink here go? The shadows must be all over in Canada. There is very little light. Cold words are shaking. Spirit of blackness. It is in the fishes also. Right? Are you not blinded by such expressionless sirens? So the entire poem is sort of gloomy. So it cannot be evil, and that's why not E. The best answer here will be option number D. All right, let's look at the next poem. Next question. Which of the following options presents a convincing evaluation of the line stars opening among the lilies? What is the meaning of this line? That is what the author has asked. Okay. So you can give me what the meaning is. I'll wait for some time and then we will discuss. The stars are flowers in the sky, and the flowers in the lake are stars in water. Does it say stars opening among the lilies? Not really. The ethereal light of stars gets reflected among the lilies. Yes, that is what I had explained also to you, right? So this can be a choice. I'll put a star on this. The spirit of blackness does not hinder the appearance of beauty in nature, which is symbolic of hope blossoming in the soul. Oh, this is such a beautiful explanation. The mirror images the world above and below overlap. Not D. I'll eliminate D. I'll eliminate A. Lilies purify the dark into light as symbolized in and by stars. Do the lilies purify? No. So I'm eliminating this. Between B and C, the ethereal light of the star gets reflected among the lilies. Yes, but what is the evaluation? What does the author really want to say? If you want to understand that, then you have to understand that there is beauty in nature. The snag is lifting a valedictory hand. There are stars. They both represent what? Hope, right? That there is brightness somewhere, even among all this gloom and doom. So, therefore, the correct answer here will be option number C and not B. B is just the literal translation or literal meaning. But if you are looking for what is a convincing evaluation, then you have to understand the metaphorical meaning and then go with it, right? So the metaphorical meaning was that there is hope that is blooming in the soul. Even when you are very depressed, even when everything is dark and dingy, there is still this snag that lifts a valedictory pale hand, and there is still the stars that open among the lilies. And then the author says, are you not blinded by such expressionless silence? Yeah, this is the silence of abandoned souls. So that is what she says. So therefore, see what a beautiful understanding of this poem. Okay. All right. With that, we come to the end of today's session, guys. I hope you found the session to be helpful. In the previous session, previous week, I had asked you to read something from Aeon Essays, right? So I hope you have read. Today I'm going to ask you to read something from New York Times. My suggestion is that you pick up New York Times and take up one editorial, any one editorial of your choice, and read it. Okay, that's what my expectation will be. Aeon, we have already read one article, so I'm removing Aeon from the list, and I'm asking you to read one editorial from New York Times. Also, in the previous class, I had discussed a couple of routes. So I'm going to continue with my route discussion. So my route today will be Phil and Miss. These are a pair of opposite roots. Phil means love and mis means hate. So therefore you have something called a philanthrope. Okay, a philanthrope is someone who loves mankind, and a misanthrope is someone who hates mankind. Okay, so I'm giving you one set of words. My expectation is that you will at least give me a couple of words more using these two roots. Okay, I hope that is good. For anything else, please do connect with me. You can find me. If you have any comments, you can write it on the chat box, and I'm very happy to explain it to you. Thank you so much. Hope this session was helpful to you. Bye bye.